conference tournament to get in. They're a Final Four, and
Right.
they're older, they're more mature, they're a team, this and that. It's hard to manage. I
More
think
cohesive.
my thing is this: I think Coach K is such a competitor. I don't know him at all. I'm just studying from afar. He saw that Kentucky's getting the shine for these one and done guys. He's like, well, I want some of that too. It's like, well, and I don't think once you go there, once you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And you
Pandora's
got to
box,
stay in that. And it's like, I think I don't know the numbers, but I think he had just as much success staying with the program. Doing it like, 4-year guys. Wouldn't hang their championship banners till they all graduate, stuff like that. Like, and obviously he's changed in versus where I see like Tony Bennett, Virginia, John Beeline. I think those guys, as far as I know, I think those guys are true blue college. I think that's the model like that we want to aspire to be. That's who I am. So we're gonna see that works and just keep hammering away that way.
Wanted to circle back around to some of the players that you are going to have next year, Jordan Martino, Charles Minlin, and Jimbo, as we alluded to. What do you see in them, and how do they help position you for next year as they continue to mature? Like you said,
I think
Jimbo's become so much more effective around the rim. And
I think any team, I think there's going to be 4 guys that are core moving forward and that have a lot of experience, and Jamari being the 4th. Jamari, I think Charles and Jordan are ready to lead. I mean, they're going to be basically 3-year starters. I think Charles would have been probably. And then Jimbo, who's been just getting better and better. And I think you've got your 3 score. Every basketball team, you have like your triangle of scorers, and it'll probably be Charles, Jordan, and Jimbo. And then it's filling in. And I don't know, we got a transfer from Central Washington, Khalil Shabazz. We got Trey Anderson, both of them from Rainier Beach, and quick scoring opportunity there, like I said, Dima, Tavi, Ramu. So I think there's some good pieces there, and then we got a couple coming in. But it's going to be those 4 guys, and you look at, and I think and learn this probably from Randy and whatever. You got to get it. You get those opportunities when you're young, and like Jamari started 10, 12 first game, and probably wouldn't quite raise a freshman. Those things will pay off, and that's what people said that should pay off as he goes forward. So that nucleus, and it's always, that's what's exciting about college basketball too, because you really don't know. If you told me I thought we'd be good this year, and it ain't over, but like their leadership's so good, and what they did in April to October, really, I think that's what's kicked in. It's like that's where you're really making big moves, and this next group will too.
He's Kyle Smith. I'm Larry Pisani. You're listening to Nuts and Bolts Sports. I want to circle back to Jimbo Lull. He's developed quite a touch around the rim, but to go to the next level, we're moving kind of towards almost a positionless basketball. We look right across the water here with the Warriors. You have Kevin Durant, who's a 7-footer knocking down threes. Has this changed the philosophy as a whole of the college game?
You know what? I think our program, where I've coached, whether it's Columbia, we like to say we're zigging when everyone else is zagging. And we're at Columbia, we were very much positionless, very good offensively, and got here and we want to do the same thing, but we'll play whoever gives us the best chance to win. And really, Jimbo, Matt, and Nate, they're not ideal for the way we want to play, but we change what we do because they give us the best chance to win because their athleticism, defensively. So, and I think that's just, I'm a little surprised because I'm like, you know what? Because we're really trying to, and I think our younger guys are going to be more fluid, 5 out. We call them 6-tool athletes, 6-tool players, and they do all different things. But this group, we're like, you know what? We got to keep Jimbo around the basket. He's too good now. And I think you don't know how much and what we were doing before. And he was so bought in and trying to do things. We're like, we'll put him in that position to be as effective as he can be. So the game's changing, but maybe we're on to something. Maybe there's going to be a pushback. Someone's going to be like, well, we're going to play 3 out, 2 in, and bang it inside every time. Well, Gonzaga does.
Right.
So the same area's not far behind. So like and BYU, like, so that's generally pretty good success. So I think we would probably evolve and change just because we've been recruiting that way. And they're young, and so as they get same thing as they get older, stronger, I think we'll be better.
Does this change the way you coach a guy like Jimbo Lull, who 15 years ago would have been predominantly focusing on the back to the basket and
Yeah, which it definitely. I mean, we let him shoot threes when he was the first 2 years because we're looking for that unicorn, the stretch five.
Sure.
For sure, and he kind of likes it, and he likes it too much. And I was like, wait, hold on, Jimbo, you're just good down there. And really, with Jimbo, it's just a matter of conditioning. And those guys are when you're 7'2", 265, and being able to stay on the floor and play minutes. He was always pretty good. It's just as hard to sustain it when you're young. If you're a young big guy that size and you're really good, you're usually a pro. I mean, like ready to go.
Right.
He's really just kept bought in. He keeps getting better and better.
You can't teach 7-1, that's
No,
for sure.
No.
Chase Center opens up here. What and that's next fall. What does that do for the program here?
I think that the whole bringing the Warriors over here, I think it's a good thing for basketball. I think just they're the best team in the world. They're a dynasty, and to have that association is huge. I know like Jennifer Azzi has been really instrumental in helping put that together and us being able to play games. Again, that's a way to elevate. We talked about like recruiting, this and that, but if we're winning and we want to get, it's a vehicle for us to attract some name teams or even the quad one teams, and it just elevates us to where we'd like to be. I mean, we'd like to, trying to find that whatever. We always talk 8-10. I'm like, Big East. We need to look like a Big East program and try to do that, whether it's a Seton Hall, San Francisco, St. John's or Villanova, those things, and that gives us a chance. And having that ability to play in there and do those things is pretty cool. I'm sure it's going to be ridiculous with the tech. Who knows?
Oh, for sure.
I
for
can't
sure.
imagine.
How many games will USF be playing at the Chase Center? Or can we discuss that? Or
I don't know. Scott, if it was up to Scott, he'd play every one.
Oh, sure.
But I know we got it. I don't know who we've nailed down an opponent. I think we're going to open it for the first college team that's going to be able to play there, and that's kind of a big deal for Scott wants us to do that. And I just think if we get, it's a chance to get whether it's maybe we get St. John's to come out here and play us there in the future. That's a good place, and we return and play in the Garden, and that would be just huge for our program. Those kind of things, and I don't. I would. Scott used to say these things, and I'd be like, "Come on, man, relax. We're not there, But now I'm like, we're winning. We do. He's the first AD where he's actually been pushing us to do it more, and we're answering the bell. And like, I think, you know what? I'm looking at our staff. I'm like, he's right. We have to get in this game. We have to get in this space where. How else are we going to get towards the top? The top part of this league. BYU has some great resources, and if you're LDS, that's a pretty good deal. There's 20,000 people going there. Randy's been over there for 20 years, and Mark and Gonzaga's really grown their deal with the McCarthy, and they have more ESPN exposures than anyone in college basketball. So it's like, what are we doing? And Scott's really pushed that element. Chase Center is definitely a platform and a way to get some of that in there.
And when San Francisco starts playing over at the Chase Center, of course, that also increases the profile of the program, the opportunities for recruiting.
Yeah, I think you can actually, and it is that makes legitimate. And that's something say, hey, we're going to play in this. We can go in there and tour, recruit around, and say, this is your city. We're going to play games here. This is what the Warriors play. This is where Steph Curry plays. Hopefully, there's some interaction between our players. Their players in the off season, which I think there will be. Usually, there is. We used to get guys when the Warriors they'd come up to St. Mary's and play, but now that hopefully they're getting places in Selma or whatever, come on over, and I think that only makes you better, just that exposure and access to those guys.
I want to close with one final question, and this is a little more personal. For you and I have a common thread. Your middle son is autistic. My brother is autistic. I want to know what you have learned from your time as a father with a child of special needs that has helped you relate to other recruits and people from different walks of life in terms of how you coach or learn to relate or connect with kids from various backgrounds.
You know what? It's just patience, and I always talk about you lead with your heart. I lead with my heart. I don't wear it on my sleeve very often, but
I do.
I say very often. Yes, that's part of the reason I don't talk about it as much because I'm a blithering idiot about it. And we have the whatever's coming pretty soon. We wear their pins and stuff like that. just patience and understanding and understand. Also, when you have that in your life, and everyone has things they're dealing with, and the wins and losses aren't as they are what they are. It's basketball. And like I said, and as I've gotten older, more coach, it's all about character development with our guys, and I don't want in our deals. I don't want them to ever feel sorry for my son Bo or families going through, because they have some stuff too, and they've been awesome. So I think just the patience and wanting to see the best out of everyone, and and the best might be writing your name for Bo. There might be putting his clothes away or dressing himself. Those things. So just it puts things in perspective for sure.
Kyle Smith, thank you so much for your time.
All right, no problem. Thanks.
We want to thank Coach Smith for his time and, of course, the athletic department at the University of San Francisco, along with Larry. For more exclusive content, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Nuts and Bolts Sports SP, our website, www.nutsandboltsports.com, and on all social media platforms, just search Nuts and Bolts Sports. This is Joe Cardoza, founder of Nuts and Bolts Sports. I want to thank you all for tuning in.